I think we're actually going to see Cavi come in on the Holy Pod, and I think it would be a massive mistake to pick Relza on that Priest. So I think we're going to see Holy Pod in jungle come out. But with that said, I still think they're going to get, a pretty tough matchup here against the Oldness Strikes, who, by the way, have the best icon so far.
I think so too.
100%.
I feel like
the best what?
That's what I look.
look,
That's
yeah.
what I look like. It's me.
It's like a,
It's an
it's
exact
like a
image of me.
hypnotizing old man.
I hate to tell you, Subatees, you do not have a mustache.
I
and you
know. I have
no
all the
hair,
bad
so-
qualities of that photo and none of the good ones.
Yeah.
I don't have good
What?
eyebrows or a
Don't sell
mustache.
yourself short, man. Goodness. All right. All right. Well, anyways, game number 1 here: Oldness Strikes versus Ad Hoc Gaming.
It is Relza. It's a Discipline Priest. So Zico thinks this is a big mistake. I'm really not sure, to be honest with you. I just feel like this is one of those matchups where Oldness Strikes, they're going to be able to, if I had to guess, they're going to be able to survive for a really long time with this composition. Eventually, Relza will just go out of mana, but we'll have to see. I'm certainly excited for this one just because of how explosive the nature of these two compositions are. I really feel like it could go long, but we could also see an incredibly quick game.
Yeah, and we're going to see already the opening stages here. Nice Fear coming out to get the trap as well. Facile looking to dig out the damage here, but look what Kara is doing to Facile on his own setup here. Absolutely destroying this Hunter, and Facile immediately ducking for cover. You're going to look to get some of those aim shots here. Now finally getting some range here. Looking to snipe down Kara on that ret, but Kara having no trouble whatsoever here. Only using his trinket in that exchange, and of course his wings. And look already at the Priest's mana. The poor Relza here, already down to 80%, having to heal once in this game. And Tana actually using his Astral Shift preemptively before he gets swapped to. Very nice swapping here from the jungle. Big damage here onto Tana, and Facile has the ability to shoot him through the wall right now. Cassidy looking for a Cyclone, gets it onto Tana, and now they are going to be going after Nerd Rage. No, Kara here, but Nerd Rage preemptive with that intervene. He's going to keep Kara nice and healthy. Tana now once again the target for the jungle. They stun Cassidy behind the pillar, and nice barrier from Relza, sniping him through the wall, but still I would say the mana is the biggest issue here. It's a race, and the jungle have to take down the healer or the ret before Relza is out of mana, and right now Relza is already at 50%.
I kind of feel like if I was a Resto Shaman getting trained by a jungle, I would just laugh at them. I feel like this is probably like the least stressful thing you could heal as a shaman. Maybe they're going to prove me wrong here, but with a Ret Paladin helping me out with Word of Glory, I mean, they must be desperate. None of these targets are good, but if you go after the shaman, your Feral Druid just gets cut in half and can't really chase him in line of sight. It's just going to be this giant blender ball of swords and holy light and ghost wolf goodness. So it's not really great for them. They're trying to figure something out. Kara jumps in here on top of Relza, hammers down. Nerd Rage is going to swap to Relza. A bit of a Zug healer race here. It looks like Facile's pet ended up dying. He had the aspect of the turtle and resurrected. Facile running that PvP legendary again. Leap of Faith jumping to his Hunter to try and avoid being trained down, getting quite a bit of value from that. I really don't think we see any priest playing that legendary, at least not on the ladder. So it's nice to see it get a debut here from Relza, getting a little bit of value, but his mana, that's where the value is starting to be lost. He's going to pop Dark Archangel, try and go for some damage, but Kara pre-Shield of Vengeance, that incoming stun, absorbing all of the damage. But the crowd control's not over. Cyclone, Bash, Kara's isolated, but if he gets a bit of holy power here, I'm sure he's going to be Word of Glorying and being just fine. Tana's out of crowd control. Looking to pick him up in a hurry here. Tana jumping in on top of his partners as well to be in range of that Overwatch spell reflect so that he can also ground Cyclones. I like Tana's positioning, playing closer to his teammates because they can help him with crowd control if he's nearby. If he's too far away, they won't be able to.
Yeah, I mean, things are looking good right now for Oldness Strikes. Still pretty much having every defensive cooldown available. Relza's almost completely tapped on mana, potentially trying to sneak away and get one right now, but Tana in hot pursuit, going to be shutting that down, forcing some drinks, and I think Facile may have lost his second pet, and at this point, Facile, if he can get it off, it's going to be massive. Can he get it? Oh, unfortunately, they weren't able to stop him, but I think Facile actually does get it off. that is a huge victory, because without that pet, that would be a nightmare situation for Facile to find himself in. And Oldness Strikes got to be kicking themselves a little bit for letting that go off, as that would have been a huge win for them. But they might not even care. Kara just going in. He's going to take him down. I mean, Relzy has the Rapture up. That's the last line of defense, the last defensive cooldown there is. Now actually going after Kara. Big burst damage coming in from this jungle. Facile looking to get aggressive. Big rapid fire coming in. Kara dancing with death at this point. It's going to be the Ascendance from Tana that keeps him stable. And now it's Oldness Strikes looking to get aggressive once again.
Ooh, Cassidy dropping danger. Look, Kara using his bubble right there as well. While Cassidy was actually running for the heals, Facile there digging out the pressure, but Relza's mana is completely empty. Facile, no aspect of the turtle. The only thing that you really need to do is keep up the pressure onto Facile. Cassidy gets the Cyclone. Facile don't bring so low. Execute range. Kara, one more swing should do it. They get the scatter shot onto Nerd Rage, but Kara doesn't care. He takes him down with the Hammer of Wrath, and that's going to be 1-0 for the old man here.
Why did they go with that name?
I love it.
I want to ask them.
I like it.
I do too. It's just I would love to hear the story behind that. But anyways, Oldness Strikes, striking for game number 1. That was not a good one. I'm gonna stop. But anyways, game number 1 victory here for this second to last series of the day. Oldness Strikes off to a good start here for this series. Break down those final moments for me, Zico. How are Oldness Strikes able to secure their victory for game number 1?
They just had a clean kind of defensive strat up until that point. They never let Relza drink, which was very important. Anytime Relza tried to drink, they swapped to him behind the pillar, or Tana would just charge out Terminator style into the middle and drop his totem behind the pillar and try to snipe him with those to put him in combat. Just doing anything they can to keep Relza out of mana. And also killing the pet forced the aspect of the turtle of Facile. Didn't have that later in the game. Jungle did get some pressure there at the end, but just wasn't enough. There was too many cooldowns left on the side of Oldness. He just traded out the bubble and just ran down the Hunter with the Priest being completely tapped. Just ran down the clock, basically.
Right. And we can take a look at the replay and look at everything that Zico just broke down for us as well from that first game here.
Right here.
Very close call.
That was the only moment where I thought, hey, maybe they can win. It was literally 10 seconds out of a 4.5-minute game where I was thinking maybe this is actually doable. But then I looked back. Relza had 0 mana. His 2 players are almost at half health. Cassidy's trying to Cyclone, but Penance, Priest can't press Radiance. It's over at that point. You're not able to keep the game going. And I feel like it's just too durable. Even if after the Divine Shield, they still have Blessing of Protection, which is practically immunity to all the jungle's damage. The Priest doesn't have mana to purge it. This is not looking like a favored matchup. Hunter Pet just gets cleaved. Hunter Pets kind of just die to like a calm breeze of air, just hits the Hunter Pet and it falls over. So it's kind of like nothing's working well for them in this series, I think.
I swear every time I see Dilly like pop up on my timeline on Twitter, it's like him just like being devastated that his pet just randomly dies all the time. Yes, I would for sure. Not a great time for those hunters and their pets. But what do you think? Does Adhoc have anything else to have an answer to Oldness Strikes? I mean, we did just see them lock in jungle again, but do they have any other options? I mean, they have Cavi, but what would they choose to play with him if they wanted to play something else against Oldness Strikes, do you think?
They would have to play just with Cavi on Holy, I'm pretty sure. I don't think Cavi is that real on anything else.
Yeah.
He's not that real.
That's what we're
just say
here.
You want him to queue with you, and then you're just saying...
I feel like
this man.
This is what I think.
He's very real on his Paladin.
I think the reason why he doesn't lock in the Paladin is just without an offensive dispel. I feel like how do you win? Like Blessing of Protection is all of a sudden Divine Shield. You can't do anything about. You can't purge it. I mean, sure, you do have a little bit more mana, but I still feel like at the end of it all, the Retribution Warrior are going to out mana the Jungle Cleave. So I think you kind of take away your only kind of win condition, which is, getting aggressive with those purges and stuff like that. But we'll see. I mean, this is not, Adhoc Gaming, phenomenal jungle team, but it's still, it's always the same problem with jungles where they play jungle and they can't play anything else. And that just, when you run into a team like this that kind of counters you, it is really difficult to pull off the win.
No, you're totally right. We saw that a lot last year with Enlight and FTK. And Dilly's jungle is doesn't have the flexibility, unfortunately. Sorry, I'll stop talking. Things are happening.
Facile, you okay there, bud? He's already just jogging right now.
You need a break, Facile? His pet died!
Oh no! His pet literally died to just Kara breathing on it for a second there with those wings. And that's going to be aspect of the turtle forced. 25% of the win condition forced. And if you're in the jungle right now, you have to make something happening. And I do believe that dampening up there, that 1%, is just that toolkit bug on the UI. We're not quite there yet, but if you're Relza, it probably feels like you're in dampening already.
Yeah, I think so. Here's the resonating arrow. Relza jumps in for a triple psychic scream. They need to get value with this resonating arrow, that blue circle on the ground. But Facile got disarmed on it. He's not able to get any damage out during that window of time. He's got rapid fire up. He really wants to try and get something going here, but not finding any damage. No crowd control. Rep Paladin easily going to heal through this. He's just tapping Tana, but it's more like tickling him. Not going to find any damage there. They're just trying to. But Facile manages to get torn apart. He can't move. He traps Kara desperately to try and stop damage on himself. They're trying to go after Tana. Tana's just jumping, pressing Riptide like, yeah, I've got a Riptide. We got Word of Glory. We're chilling. I'm just going to stay in line of sight of everything and get healed back up. I mean, this is looking really good for Oldness Strikes right now. Relza's trying to drink. They picked a good map to get drinks, but Nerd Rage leaps over and stops him from doing so. Now two teammates are low. He's pummeled on a heal. Facile jumps in. Freezing Trap lands. This is when they need to make a play, but Kara deflects with that absorption shield, the shield of vengeance. Cassidy swaps over to Tana for a moment. A pre-tremor, not able to hit any crowd control. They swap to Tana with that resonating arrow. A lot of aim shots connect onto Tana. He's going to respect it with the astral shift. Some signs of life. I like the swaps over to the shaman like that. I'm not sure about tunneling him, but now lava bursts are flying in while Relza's trying to drink. Very risky time to try and drink. Your hunter with no aspect of the turtle. Cassidy pops survival instincts. Tana going to cap totem Relza. Dodges it to the right. Has to move back in on the left. Facile's too low. Radiance heal. It's basically Relza sits down for a drink, then spends that mana on a Radiance 1 second later to try and heal up from spending the time drinking. It's kind of just locked down in this hopeless position. How can they pull this off?
It's going to be difficult. Stormbolt now onto Facile. If they can accidentally kill that pet once again, then I think Facile's going to be in a lot of trouble. It seems like the only way you can get that pet back is with that aspect of the turtle, but so far staying alive. Mana not looking too bad off the fact that Relza is sneaking away and getting those drinks, but Nerd Rage once again trying to shut it down. Facile actually doing a really good job kiting in this particular matchup, making sure he's constantly creating space for his team. Big aim shots going to be landing on Nerd Rage. And he gets a little bit scared. The commanding shout going to be coming in. Kara throwing in some heals as well. And right now, Kara and Nurage, they're really struggling to stay on target. Facile is able to get away. He's throwing out a lot of damage now on that Marks Hunter, but still mana in favor of Oldness Strikes. And they haven't really forced out too many defensive cooldowns. Kara's still looking really healthy with that Divine Shield. And it just seems like right now, Oldness Strikes is playing into their win condition.
Yeah, and Kara did a pretty, Nerdridge did a really good Stormbolt there onto Cassidy on his Cyclone attempt. Cassidy trying to Cyclone these wings of Kara, but ends up getting stunned and forced to Trinket instead. Now finally getting that Cyclone at the back end of those wings. Now Tana trying to potentially snipe a cap totem here onto somebody. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get it. Nerdrage now going to be the main target here of the jungle. Relza sitting down for a drink. Nerdrage stops that. Nerdrage no die by the sword just yet. Trap is not going to land. And actually Tana getting scared beasted right there by Facile. Getting some pressure there. Big damage here onto Cassidy. Doesn't have survival instinct. Had to trade it earlier when Relza was drinking. And I mean, Relza was drinking earlier, but look at his mana already down to 20%. Facile does have his aspect of the turtle here, so if his pet goes down, he has another way to resurrect it. And now they are looking for some damage here onto just anybody they can find here. Cassidy looking to take some, and Nerdridge as well on the flip side here from Ad Hoc Gaming, getting some pressure onto him as well. No die by the sword for another 20. Relza threatening to get a drink. Nerdridge stops it immediately. The pet is dead. Facile gets stunned as he uses the turtle. Facile having to use his every man for himself just to get the pet res off, and he's used his exil heal there as well. So Facile has nothing for the next stun and in the next pet, and Relza needs to find a drink right now. They need to find a go right now. Otherwise, this is going to be another win here for Oldness Strikes. They're running out of time on the side of the jungle.
All right, let's see what they can do. It's not looking too good at this point. Medallions available across the entire side of Oldness Strikes. Basically over half mana left as well. Dab of the Sword, Divine Shield, all their defenses. They're just going to be cleaving down the Hunter and Feral if they stand next to each other. Cassidy's kind of just forced to attack Tana, even though even Tana's not really going to take too much damage. Relza in a stun. They stun up Tana. Nerd Rage intervenes. Cassidy has to pull away. He's going to get chopped up if he spends too much time here. Jumps into bear form, trying to kite Nerd Rage, heal himself back up. Gets interrupted by Kara. Cassidy is boldly going where no Feral has gone before, standing on top of a Ret Paladin. Facile getting cleaved down. He's disarmed on his resonating arrow every time. The only time Facile can really hope to do damage, he gets disarmed on it. He's got no turtle. Relza's 0 mana. He's trying to drink, but there's no cooldown. Is he going to be able to get mana here? Tana, I think, stopped the drink with a totem, and Facile is just getting KO'd by Hammers of Wrath because Cassidy's trying to help out with a regrowth. They're doing whatever they can to try and pull a miracle out of this disaster. Relza just has nothing. He's going for Smite on Tana. Just please do any damage to anyone on Oldness Strikes at this point. They've got Cassidy pinned in bear form. Facile is trying to free cast aim shots and get some pressure, keeping Men Pet up. Does not want his pet to go down right now. That's likely game over if it does. Kara into the Cyclone. Nerd Rage going after Facile. Tana just lobbing in Lava Burst. I mean, this is free reign for Oldness Strikes right now, and Facile could ultimately go down. Paid suppression on 1%. He just left the game. He's not even giving them the satisfaction of getting to execute. Just, I'm out.
Oh, man.
All right. You got no chance when that happens.
That was sad, honestly. That was really, really sad. Oldness Strikes was in the driver's seat of that game from start to finish. It really felt like the jungle struggled to find pressure. The big map didn't really work out better for them whatsoever. They were still able to shut down drinks, and it feels like, honestly, on the big map, their pressure just completely fell apart. Relza wasn't able to really push in aggressively for crowd control ever. They were trying to just stall out the game and play for the late game, but it didn't work out. So they don't win in the late game, and I don't think they win in the early game. So this might just be, checkmate for them.
Yeah, a little unfortunate when you see teams in this sort of position when it feels like they don't have much of a chance to win game number 3 here. But these guys are veteran players. We have seen them succeed at an incredibly high level, so I think they could still potentially turn this around here in game number 3. But we are going to take a look at a replay for that last game.
Look at the scoreboard. I feel like if you look at the scoreboard, you think that was a close game. I feel like, but it didn't at all feel like a close game. It's actually kind of really interesting.
I think this is what made Facile straight up piece it. His pet just died, and he scatters Nerd Rage, and now he goes for the res. They get the Cyclone, but he gets interrupted by a Wind Shear, and then he gets topped. And then at this point, he's like, yeah, you know what? I'm dead anyway. Peace. I have no pet. I have no turtle. My priest is it's over. So yeah.
Here's that scoreboard again, Sim, if you want to round out your point.
I mean, look at the numbers. I feel like, doesn't that look like this was a close game?
Yeah.
Like everyone is equal
Cassidy
in the game.
Did more off healing. You wouldn't expect it, but Cassidy did more off healing than Kara did by a good amount too. So that's crazy. Definitely some interesting Feral utility there, but it just seems like although Cassidy and Facile are doing good scoreboard damage, when they actually have their burst lined up, Nerd Rage and Kara always have an answer. Just the warrior, the Ret Paladin, super high armor targets. They wear plate armor, and then of course with intervene, there's too many defensive options. It's really difficult to burst those targets down.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, game number 3 here. Oldness Strikes on match point. Pretty solid series for them. We're seeing Ad Hoc struggle, unfortunately, on that jungle composition. Haven't really been able to find an answer for Oldness Strikes. I know you guys have touched on it quite a bit, but going into game 3, is there really anything they can do? I mean, can they pick some sort of map to their advantage, Zico? What options do they have, or are they just gonna try and do what they did in game 1 and 2 and hope it works out?
Well, bigger map is better for them, so probably Asha mains or Imperial in the main maybe, but again, I feel like if you're playing this priest into this, you are gonna lose every time. And their other option is Holy Pot. Maybe they can get Cavi on the ret pala and play like a ret hunter, but. I don't even know. I don't think it's that. Maybe not that. What? Maybe they get like a fat divine toll. I don't know.
Ret Feral sounds better than Ret Feral and just off heal a ton and just.
Maybe Cassidy goes Boomkin and just puts all his cards on the Convoke.
Convoke. Like, double Boomkin, double Convoke.
Just.
I like that. I want to see
what
that.
happens.
That's a composition I want to see.
Me too.
Double Boomkin.
Yeah, we saw some double Fire Mage shenanigans in like the qualifiers up to this point. I want to see double Boomkin. That's what I want.
You know what that comp is called?
Double Boomkin Pro.
Guess what that comp is called?
What?
Double Boomkin. No
know.
guesses? Clone Wars.
Oh, that's funny. I get it.
I don't get it.
You don't
I'm
get
laughing.
Okay, whatever.
Because the
I get it, I'm
cyclone.
kidding.
Usually I don't know pop culture.
Okay, I was like, am
so
I really
it's
explaining
okay.
this one? Oh man,
Pop
yeah,
culture.
no. It'd be cool to see. It's not often that you see like those double. I think
Oh,
the
they're
last
doing
time
it.
we saw. Are they?
They're doing Ret Hunter, not double.
Look at that. Look
the
at that. Going to
predictions.
Blade's Edge too. All right, Zika's got the comb out. This game is gonna be an interesting one. Zika, you brought out the comb. Talk to me about this this next series.
Well, they're gonna bring in the Cavi ret here. I don't know what his experience is like in arena with that ret, but I mean, he's extremely good on that Holy Paladin, and I mean, he's probably done his world quest and like maybe Torghast or something on his ret, so hopefully he knows like what's up. They're gonna have more damage, a lot more damage, more kind of immediate answers as well. But I also think they're gonna have a much squishier target. So I don't know. I feel like this is kind of like just a Hail Mary, just trying to gamble it all on the wings, see if they can maybe one-shot the Shaman or the enemy ret before they get one-shot themselves.
Yeah. But, I mean, you know, the difficulty about being in these sort of situations, even if this does work out on the side of Ad Hoc Gaming, if they're able to pull off this victory on Blade's Edge Arena, that puts them in another really difficult spot for game number 4. So, essentially, if they win this next one, if anything, they could just be buying themselves more time. But I still have hope for these guys. I think they could potentially tie it up here. I want to see a game 5 with these two teams. But it is game number 3. Blade's Edge Arena, Oldness strikes up 2-0 versus Ad Hoc Gaming.
Yeah. These old men really putting on a series for us here. Going to Blade's Edge Arena, Ad Hoc Gaming. I think the main thought process behind this map is you have the explosive shot from the Hunter. So against the double melee, you can utilize that to buy yourself a little bit more time, give yourself a little bit of room. And I definitely don't mind the pick. But we'll see what Ad Hoc Gaming can get done with this Retribution Paladin and Hunter. Their tournament lives on the line right now. Oldness Strikes just one away from knocking them out this week.
All right, we got the games live here. Both wings are active, and look at Cavi already taking quite a beating here on that ret. And activate that Shield of Vengeance. He gets disarmed there on his wings as well. And I gotta say, the Warrior definitely offers more support, but the Hunter offers a little bit more offense in this matchup. They go for the Hex here, and they actually do land it. And now Facile, look at the Kite here. He traps the pet there of Tana. So Tana with a nice dodge right there. Cavi now looking for a little bit of damage here, but he can't really quite connect. Anytime he's looking to get aggressive, he gets speared, and there's a Hammer of Justice, and Kara and Nerdridge are just bullying Nerdridge. Preemptive shattering throw right there, and already Relza as well is spending quite a bit of mana, moves in, gets the Psychic Scream here, looking for some pressure here, and you know, I think Cavi doesn't have much left already. He has one Blessing of Protection, no wings, no nothing, already tapped on cooldowns, gets disarmed as well. That Warrior just shutting him down so much in the opening stages. They still have all priest cooldowns to work with, and they might need to use them right now. Relza getting wind shear right there. Looking to just close out the game here. And he gets Pain Suppression, he gets Blessing of Protection, but it's not going to be enough. Cavi going to get absolutely destroyed there in a minute.
That was
I think
like
Ret Warrior. Ret Warrior seems good into Hunters. I think that's an observation I've made.
I feel like Cavi's
really
dead
good.
body at the end of the game just looked like Yamcha.
Oh, the dance!
Oh man.
I got a Yamcha meme when I saw Cavi die in the middle of the bridge like that.
All right, well, Oldness strikes. That's going to be a 3-0 for the second to last series of the day. 3-0 looks pretty good, you know, as a record. If you're just looking at like Wikipedia or something, looking over that bracket and be like, oh, you know, they had a 3-0. How do you think though this team does against